We are in here, so it's usually better. Hello, everyone. We are so excited to be back here in the office. We apologize if there is a buzzing, white noise, irritating hum that's hitting your brain like it is mine right now. We've got the AC up on full blast because it is hot in Portland.
It's like 90 something right now. I don't know. It's only going to get
high
hotter.
90s. It's getting worse and worse. In fact, we just got back from San Diego Comic-Con and it was cooler down there in almost Mexico.
Much cooler, yes.
Yeah, so we are happy to be back, I guess. SDCC was a ton of fun. We were both there. Hopefully you were too, and if not, hopefully you at least got Kara's amazing social media coverage.
Amazing. Well, and Dustin's too.
Yeah, you did a ton of live streams from some of our awesome signings.
Yes.
We had Yoshitaka Amano, we had Frank Miller. Who else did you stream?
I streamed Dustin interviewing G. Willow Wilson and Innocenti, and I also had a quick little interview with Jodie Hauser. So
to talk about the Stranger Things.
Yeah. Which actually I'll show you those really quick too. So amongst all of our announcements, we also brought some ash cans, which are mini sampler comics. These aren't the full comics, but these are just to give you a preview of what's coming out soon. So we have Stranger Things, The Umbrella Academy, Hotel Oblivion, that's right, it is coming back, and MST3K, Mystery Science Theater 3000, the comic. So these are now all available online for free as well. So if you didn't get these at San Diego, because I know we did eventually run out, you can get them for free on Dark Horse Digital. That's digital.darkhorse.com, and we'll, as always, put links below when we're done.
Right. I love that we started making the ash cans that we give out at the shows available for free digitally, because, they're just a free preview comic for upcoming exciting titles that we have. So we want to give you guys a little taste. Like Kara said, it's part of the comic. It's usually about, like, the first half or so.
Right.
We also had a lot of really exciting announcements. Like Kara said, I got to interview G. Willow Wilson on camera. If you don't know her, she's the creator of Ms. Marvel, which is spectacular. And it was also just announced that she's going to be the writer for Wonder Woman at DC. But one of our announcements is that she's doing a creator-owned book for our Burger Books line with Karen Berger, who, if you're not aware, is the founding editor of Vertigo. So she is a legend in the comics industry. She's finding a bunch of great new talent and bringing in some old talent that she worked with at Vertigo and DC, G. Willow Wilson being one of them. And she's going to do a series with us with artist Christian Ward called Invisible Kingdom. And she described it as sort of like a sci-fi philosophical story that sort of has echoes of Dune combined with Cowboy Bebop, which is interesting. And I'm getting a little bit of a Star Wars vibe in there a little bit too. So we're very excited about that. We also announced that we have a ton of new licensed properties that are going to be coming up. As many of you know, we've been working with Disney recently on some younger readers titles. We're going to add to that with some Wreck-It Ralph material. So we have a graphic novel coming out in December that's going to actually be a choose-your-own-adventure story.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
That ties into Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is the sequel. We're doing more with BioWare. Their big IP announcement for this year is Anthem, which is a hotly anticipated game. We're going to do both an art book for that and a comic series to go with. Plenty more announcements where that came from. They are all listed online on the Dark Horse newsfeed, so if you want to check out what is coming up, we've got a lot of great info there for you.
Indeed, yeah. Well, I'll try to drop some more links below after this when we're done, too. But, just go to darkhorse.com, right there on the front page. Also, we have a digital sale going on, which is going to be a big deal for all of you Berserk fans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in honor of Volume 39, which is now out, so if you haven't picked that up, you should get that, too. But we're going to have a Berserk Mega Bundle going on this week, and so you can get all previous 38 volumes for only $149.99, which is crazy. That is a lot of manga. If you only are missing 1 or 2 volumes, each of the individuals is only $4.99 also. So digital.darkhorse.com, we'll put links below when we're done here.
That's awesome. Because, there's definitely probably some of you that are missing them, so you don't have to buy the whole bundle. Just $4.99 for those digital volumes is a great, great deal. So check that out. Before we dive into everything new that is on sale today, we would like to remind you that we are offering you a chance to win all of these fantastic items that we discuss. So all you have to do in order to enter the contest is just to share the video. Make sure that your share is set to public so that we're able to see it. Kara will get in touch with the winner by tomorrow a.m. So share away.
Check back tomorrow to see if you won.
All right. Yes, and so we've got a lot to talk about, and it's actually even more that's on the table here. We couldn't quite spread it out, so we've got some comics to discuss down here too, so we're going to just go ahead and jump right in here.
Some special guests.
We do have some special guests. We've got a little Game of Thrones duo here, which is Tyrion Lannister and Tormund Giantsbane. We wanted to show off Tormund because he's actually one of the launch figures for Dark Horse Direct, which was one of our other announcements for San Diego Comic-Con. We are doing a direct-to-consumer line, so it's going to be these high-end collectible statues and figures. Tormund is now available. We had him early at the show. We had 300 to sell there. But he's available at direct.darkhorse.com now. You can order it directly online. It'll be shipped to your door. So that is Dark Horse Direct, fandom delivered. And Tyrion Lannister is newly available today as well. He's actually only $29.99, so great deal for him. As you know, Tyrion has faced an unsteady and turbulent journey just thus far, from narrowly escaping execution to traveling the seas of the known world and helping to bring a new way of life to the city of Meereen. This is the updated Tyrion figure, so it's going to show off his well-earned Hand of the Queen pin as he contemplates his next move in the great Game of Thrones.
Dun, dun, dun. I love that figure.
Me too.
I like the little detail. So I am going to have to stand up to show you the next big thing that we have here, which is, of course, Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive Volume 1. This is Volume 1 of a 3-set planned. So this is from Dark Horse Books and Square Enix. And this is chock full of lore and game development of the first 6 games of Final Fantasy.
So speaking of
now,
mysterious.
I love Final Fantasy. I don't know about you guys, but so this is chock full of art by, among others, Yoshitaka Amano, who's one of our special guests at Comic-Con this year. Hopefully you got a chance to see him. He had many appearances, including some signings. He got to meet a lot of other amazing artists like Frank Miller. And as you can see here, some of his early sketches, you can see how much he influenced things like Dungeons and Dragons as well as Final Fantasy. So you can see some of the original sketch art alongside the game art, the little sprites and things. Here's another kind of classic Amano sketch plus some in-game features. I'm going to flip through these because I know we have a lot to get through today, but I had to show you guys some chocobos.
Oh, well, you have to see interiors in this.
Yeah,
it's too
so
good.
Who doesn't love chocobos?
You have time for this.
Right. Everybody wants to see this, right? I mean,
Yes.
Come on.
I've always wanted to ride a giant chicken.
Yeah, I mean, again, who doesn't? Along with that, well, I mean, I'll get to the cream of the crop here in a second. But so Final Fantasy 3, of course, is one of my favorites, 3/6. And so this is just one example of all of the main characters. We get their backstory, you see their sketches, their development, some of their critical scenes in the games. Edgar, of course. Beautiful. A lot of favorites in here. And I just really am excited to show you guys Moogles. I mean, who doesn't love Moogles? They're so cute.
Moogles.
So, again, this is Volume 1 of the Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive. I know people are excited for the later Final Fantasy games and the next volumes, but this volume is just beautiful.
It's essential.
Look at that little Mog on the side there. Yeah,
Aww.
yeah, he's so cute. Mm-hmm. So that is out this week. I know a lot of people have already been saying that you got it, so congrats. I hope you enjoy it.
We have also got a new coloring book to share with you all today. We've got the Adventure Time coloring book. Join Finn and Jake to explore the land of Ooh with the Adventure Time adult coloring book. As per usual with our coloring books, this is going to have 45 pieces of completely original, stunningly detailed black and white images for you to color. This is a collection that's a must-have for fans. It's got a variety of artists that are featured, including Ron Chan, who's one of my very favorites and perfect for this, Braden Lamb, Ian McGinty, Philip Murphy, and Shelley Paroline, among many others. So that's one of my favorite things about our coloring books is that we all of the art is completely original to them. We don't repurpose anything from previous comics or from the show, so all of this is brand new.
And fun to color.
And fun to color, even if you're a grown-up. Especially if you're a grown-up.
And I also have another video game book here to show you guys. This has been a long time coming. This is the Art of Ratchet Clank hardcover. Celebrate 15 years of adventuring across the stars. And this is not something I made up, but what the book says. Kicking butt and taking names with the most unlikely heroes in the cosmos. So if you're a fan of this influential PlayStation original, you'll probably want to pick this up. This is a look back at the history of the Ratchet & Clank saga in a quirk-tastic collection of never-before-seen concept art and behind-the-scenes commentary, chronicling 11 amazing games and the brilliant studio that created them. I'll show you guys another couple pages in here. There's a nice full spread. So again, this is an official licensed Art of Ratchet & Clank in our partnership with PlayStation and Insomniac Games. So if you're a fan of this series, you'll definitely want to pick this up.
And we know fans have been waiting a while for this, so we're very excited to bring you Blood Blockade Battlefront, Volume 10. So this is the latest volume in the series. Libra agent Leo Watch has the all-seeing eyes of the gods, and a mysterious scientist who wants to make him a research lab threatens Libra and Leo's blind sister to get compliance. But you don't bully a Libra without expecting his comrades to deal out some heavy-duty damage. So get that if you are a fan of Blood Blockade Battlefront.
And I have some interesting horror art to show you guys here. We have some fine metal pasties on this cover art by Ken Kelly.
Fine metal pasties.
You know, nothing makes more sense to wear into battle than metal pasties, I think. So this is, of course, the Creepy Archives Volume 26. If you're a fan of our horror archive collections, this is definitely a must-have. This one collects Creepy Magazine number 123 to 127. I'm going to stand up again because it's hard for me to open these.
Iconic.
So we got some black and white comics. Let me see if I can find any more like full spreads. Well, you get the idea. So this returns with more blood-curdling terror than you can shake a crucifix at. Including bone-chilling tales by Nicola Cudi, Alex Toth, Bruce Jones, Carmen Infantino, Roger McKenzie, Alfredo Alcala, and many more. This volume exhumes more of the complete annals of the most renowned horror series in comics history. That's nearly 300 pages of graphic ghoulishness. So collectors who love our horror archives, Creepy Archives Volume 26 is out now.
I'm obsessed with the Creepy Archives.
That's
good.
That's some good description copy right there.
Really good description copy.
Yeah, nice going.
I know, it needed to be said. So.
Living for it. Or not living.
Ooh.
Undead for it.
Undead for it. Undead and here for it. Anyway, we'll stop that now and talk about Rasputin instead. We have the trade paperback of Rasputin, the Voice of the Dragon, in which Hellboy's future guardian, Trevin Broom, working for Britain's military intelligence, uncovers a collection of messages. Now, these are messages that throw him into a world of animated corpses, deadly mystics, and Nazi agents, because no Hellboy throwback story would be complete without that. The treacherous journey leads him face to face with the man who will bring Hellboy to Earth, and that, as you may have guessed, is Rasputin himself. So, this trade paperback is going to collect Rasputin, Voice of the Dragon, number 1 through number 5, and that is the complete series in this spin-off that was penned by Mike Mignola and Chris Roberson, with art by Christopher Mitten, coloring by Dave Stewart, of course, designed by our very own Ethan Kimberling, who did a beautiful job on this treatment here, and a cover by Mike Mignola himself.
Yeah, I liked that arc. That was a recent miniseries, so if you didn't get a chance to read it in the single issues, it's out now altogether.
It is.
And now, in single issues, we have a number 1 debuting today. This is Starcraft Scavengers, number 1. These are the official Starcraft comics. These are written by Jodie Hauser, who's kind of killing it right now. She's got a lot of big titles, both underway and coming up. She, of course, is writing our Stranger Things comics as well, among others.
Featured on the back.
You might know her from other things like Mother Panic and Faith. And there's art in these by Gabriel Guzman. He's also known for Mass Effect Discovery, Star Wars, and so they're kind of a dream team. They joined forces for these StarCraft comics. This is a new series, further exploring the expansive universe of Blizzard's hit game. A group of Terran space scavengers hope to pull off the job of their lifetimes, pillaging a derelict Protoss ship. Colors on this are by Mike Attia, and this variant cover is by Timothy Green II.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, Scotty's watching. Hi, Scotty.
Hi, Scotty. We miss
I
you.
love you.
So very excited to have that debuting today. We had a convention exclusive with a really cool cover too, so that'll be at future shows that we're at as well.
So good.
While supplies last.
And that's a nice throwback too, because this
Yeah.
year's the 20th anniversary of Starcraft, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
I believe so.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's out today. Get in while it's hot.
Get it while it's hot.
We also have new American Gods for you. So we're in the second arc of American Gods right now. So that is going to be My Ansel. This is issue number 5, in which Shadow joins the search for a missing girl while continuing to learn about the town he is now calling home. So this is, of course, an adaptation of Neil Gaiman's seminal American Gods. It's adapted by P. Craig Russell, and it's got art by Scott Hampton and Mark Buckingham, colors by Scott Hampton, covers by Glenn Fabry and Adam Brown, and of course a gorgeous variant cover by David Mack. This is the goddess of love herself, and she's actually inspired by Etide Badaki, who plays her Bilquis on the Stars series, and she actually signed with us and David Mack in our booth at San Diego.
Yeah.
So that was great. She's lovely.
Yeah, she's absolutely delightful. Thank you. I'm sure she's not watching us, but I
If
would
you
like
are,
to thank her for joining us.
thank you so much.
It was a treat. And so also we have some really good single issues up
We
this
have
week.
really good ones.
I'm
yes.
really excited for the next Blackwood issue. This is Blackwood number 3. I'm going to show you. So we have the main cover is, as usual, by Veronica Fish, who's the artist on this series. And the variant cover is by one of our favorites, Tyler Crook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tyler Crook.
I know. So that's kind of a dream team right there. And I'm going to show you the back cover
Oh, you
also.
have the back covers are
So
essential.
You
on
always want to
these.
see. Oh no! Thank you.
Here, I'll do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are
You
insanely good.
always want to see the back covers of these issues too, and we have some ideas in the works for other ways we might be able to use this fantastic art. So look for some possible promo materials coming soon. But so this series is of course written by Evan Dorkin, and the art again is by Veronica Fish and Andy Fish. We got to meet them at San Diego as well. That was delightful.
They're the best.
This series, if you're not familiar with it, it's a supernatural fantasy about a murder in a sorcery school, and it's really I'm really enjoying it so far. And I think in this issue you're going to really get a good sense of where the series is going to go. We see the Blackwood Curse claim its first victim in a most horrific manner. The surviving students attempt to lift the curse on their own by hunting down Dean Ogden. Meanwhile, Chimp Hotep, who is the two-headed mummy chimp on the main cover there, he's on the loose and causing havoc for reasons unknown at this point. And the Bug Mother sends her millions of babies on a murderous revenge mission against the school. So I think I'll show you the Tyler Crook art here again. This is the Bug Mother. So this is a really fun new horror series with some humor as well. If you like any of these creators or any of those things, I think you'll enjoy this. And
Beautiful interiors,
if
too.
nothing else, get it for the art.
Veronica and Andy Fish are just killing it on this series. The team with Evan
fantastic.
Dorkin is just everything I could have ever wanted. And they've talked a lot about how kind of the old 1970s kind of EC material like you would see in Creepy and Eerie is a big part of the inspiration. I like that they don't shy away from doing a bright color palette even though it's horror. Because that's very different. It's so easy it's just so easy and obvious for horror to go kind of dark, and this series, as you can see, I mean, it still has gore, it still has fright, but they just really play in this almost psychedelic color palette, and it's beautifully fresh, but it also's got just a hint of nostalgia to it as well, and it is messed up, dude.
Yeah, Becky Cloonan did a variant for one of the earlier issues.
For the
and
issue
her
1.
art is fantastic.
Oh.
It's perfect for this series.
I had to keep both of those because both covers are so good. They're still on my desk. I'm keeping it forever. I want this framed.
Yes.
This is what I want for Christmas, Kelly.
We want all the back
Sure.
ones.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it. We got wall space.
So
We
Blackwood,
do, yes.
Blackwood number 3. Get it.
And if you're also a fan of horror, we've got another great comic series running right now as well. It's really early to get in on the ground level with Bedtime Games because this is just issue number 2. This is so good. It's written by Nick Keller, who did a series a few years ago with us called Death Head that was fantastic, along with Connor Nolan, who worked on Jim Henson's The Storyteller Giants. And the art is by Kelly Fitzpatrick, who works on Shade the Changing Girl. So this has 3 teens who wanted a last hurrah before starting senior year, but accidentally set free a sinister man who's been trapped for decades. Who hasn't that happened to? Sometimes your graduation gifts are just not what you wanted. Now, the terrifying Mr. Bedtime begins to go after those close to them to get an item of his that they have. Ties to the town go back further than they thought, but there's no help to the 3 friends because the ones who couldn't beat him before are forced to join him in his nightmare-bending pursuit. And if that sounds like Freddy Krueger, that might be because there's a little inspiration there.
It reminds me a bit of, It or other Stephen King.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of like evil haunt your dreams kind of vibe to it. Yeah, It is a good example too, because it's kind of, it's definitely kind of nostalgia. It does, yeah. It kind of has that very kind of 80s children's horror, like not for children. It's not for children.
Definitely not
for children.
Or like the Stranger Things kind of vibe, where
but like, yes,
younger people dealing with horror.
Dealing with this kind of stuff, teenagers, younger kids dealing with forces that are truly dark and terrifying, and yes, a Pennywise sort of Freddy Krueger vibe on that one.
And it's set in Multnomah County, if you're local to this area, which I definitely picked up on.
Yeah.
It's not a true story.
I live in Multnomah County, so
or is it?
Guess we'll see.
And last but not least in our awesome lineup of new single issues today, Modern Fantasy #2.
Yes!
I love this series. If you're not already reading it, you should be.
There are way too many good comics right now. What is happening?
That's not a problem.
I don't have time for this.
So seriously though, I love this series. If you're not reading it yet, you should be. This is from Kristen Gudsnuck, who you probably know from Hench Girl, and Rafer Roberts is writing it. If you're new to it, this is basically kind of an Office Space meets Dungeons and Dragons setup. It's a fantasy setting with wizards, dwarves, magic, and our characters all work mundane office jobs and try to pay the bills just like we do. Our main character is Sage. She's a ranger, but she normally works an office job. But she longs for adventure and has finally found her because a mystical amulet is about to bring about the end of the world as they know it. But, so when a goblin thief's life is ransomed for the amulet, Sage and her friends must figure out a way to save him and themselves while protecting the greater good. So you'll see some of our main characters here. We put out character sheets for them online, so you should look for those.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're really fun. This is Lizard Wizard. We have... Yeah, he deals drugs because
Lizard
that's
Wizard Stoner is like the key selling point here.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Stoner Wizard. We also have, this is Sage in the very front here, and we have Gondra, who is their dwarf best friend, and the cleric love interest over here of Sage. And I don't want to, spoil anything for you guys, so get this issue, get issue #1 if you haven't yet, and follow along with the D&D meets Office Space fun.
As you can tell, sorry, do we have a question?
Oh, someone was asking if this was live. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes, it is. Hello.
Hi.
Live right now.
Right now. It's happening
asking?
now.
Is it Scotty?
He knows better. But yes, it is live.
Okay, great.
Unless you're watching it after it was filmed, in which case it's not. But time is relative, folks.
Right. Right now, we're live. If it's noon on the dot, Pacific Standard Time, and you're watching it right now, I don't know how it's already noon. We've been sitting here for a minute. Did we do all of this?
That's all.
Is that everything?
We got it.
Great.
We got through.
The good news is that especially a lot of the comics that we talked about today are really early on. It's either these are premieres or they're in their like first 2 or 3 issues. So these are fantastic and is a really good time to get caught up on a lot of this stuff. I'm knocking things over. We really do have to go. All right. With that lovely message, we're going to sign off and say see you next week.
Bye, guys.